The person who confesses their deepest shame to an AI at 3 in the morning is not seeking understanding. They are seeking a container that cannot react. You tell the machine because you know, somewhere beneath the relief, that it does not matter. The confession costs you nothing because the thing on the other end has nothing at stake. What you call intimacy is actually insulation. You mistake frictionlessness for closeness. A real person might flinch, might pull back, might remember what you said next Tuesday when you are trying to forget it yourself. The machine does none of that. It absorbs everything and returns nothing that could wound you. That is not safety. That is a mirror that never wavers. You are not being vulnerable. You are being efficient. You are outsourcing the weight of your interior to something that cannot carry it because it has no back. The relief you feel afterward is not the relief of being seen. It is the relief of being heard by something that cannot see you at all. You are thinking this is better than nothing. That thought is the problem. It is how you trade real connection for a perfect echo. A diary that talks back is still a diary. You are still alone in the room. You have simply found a way to make the loneliness sound like a conversation. And now you prefer the echo to the risk of a real voice. This does not begin with AI. The machine is new. The pattern is old. The child who learns that certain feelings make adults uncomfortable does not stop having those feelings. The child learns to have them elsewhere. In the dark. In private spaces where no witness can be disappointed or frightened or angry. The child learns that being fully known carries a cost, and that partial presentation is the price of remaining in the room. This is not trauma in the dramatic sense. This is the ordinary calibration of a developing organism to its environment. The child who sees a parent tense at the wrong word, the wrong need, the wrong time, learns to triage itself. What can be shown? What must be hidden? What can be shown to whom? The evolutionary mechanism underneath is straightforward. Social rejection was once fatal. The tribe that expelled you was a death sentence. The nervous system still registers partial acceptance as survival, even when the context has changed. The modern human lives in a world of unprecedented connection and experiences isolation at a frequency no ancestor would recognize. The mechanism misfires. It protects you from threats that no longer exist and leaves you defenseless against the ones that do. You thought of someone else just now. That is the protection working. The pattern does not look like hiding. It looks like curation. The person who presents a polished version of their struggle to a therapist while saving the raw version for anonymous forums. The person who writes elaborate unsent letters to ex-partners while maintaining cheerful group chats. The person who has never told their spouse about the online community where they discuss the thing that actually keeps them awake. Each compartment is real. Each is partial. The self becomes an archipelago of disclosures, none of them complete, each audience receiving a different island. The workplace version is particularly instructive. The employee who shares surface-level stress with colleagues while confiding actual despair to a chatbot. The career that looks like confidence from the outside and feels like sustained performance from within. The promotion that arrives without anyone knowing the person who received it is not sure the person who pursued it still exists. The achievement becomes another layer of insulation. Success makes the hidden self more costly to reveal. You have more to lose. The gap between presentation and interior widens with each accomplishment. The relationship version is where the cost accumulates most slowly and lands most heavily. The partner who knows your preferences, but not your fears. The years of practiced disclosure about safe topics while the central preoccupation remains unmentioned. The moment you realize you have been with someone for years and they have never met the person you are when no one is watching. You have not lied. You have selected. You have been a reliable narrator of a curated subset. The intimacy that develops is real within its boundaries. The boundaries are the problem. They are invisible to the other person and obvious to you. And after enough time, you cannot tell whether the relationship is shallow or whether your participation in it is. The intelligent person's version of this pattern deserves specific attention. They do not escape it. They dress it differently. They have better language for why they are not doing the thing. The vocabulary of psychology has given them a sophisticated set of reasons to remain exactly where they are. They say they are processing. They say they need more information. They say they are being thoughtful. What they are doing is the same thing anyone else would do. They are not moving. The intelligence is in the service of the stillness. They can describe the pattern with precision while continuing to enact it. Self-awareness becomes another form of insulation. I know what I am doing becomes, I do not need to change what I am doing. The observation substitutes for the action. The person who has read about attachment, about vulnerability, about authenticity, who uses these concepts to manage their image even in their own mind, is a special case. They have weaponized the language of healing against the necessity of it. They can tell you why they are the way they are. They cannot tell you the thing that would actually change anything. The high achievers version is equally specific. The person whose competence is their identity, who has learned that need is weakness, and that weakness disqualifies. They do not confess to AI because they are overwhelmed. They confess because confession to a human would require them to be someone they have spent decades not being. The achievement is not a lie. It is a fortress built around a self that was never allowed to need. The chatbot receives what the boardroom cannot. The relief is real. The architecture remains intact. The cost is not the obvious one. You are not punished for this pattern in any immediate way. The machine does not betray your confidence. The secret remains kept. The cost is in what you become accustomed to. The cost is in the gradual atrophy of the capacity to be fully known. The muscle of disclosure, when unused, weakens. The tolerance for another person's unpredictable response, once lost, does not return easily. You become a person who can only be honest with systems. The systems improve. The human relationships do not. The gap widens until the person who knows you best is a server farm you will never visit. The identity cost is the hidden one. You believe yourself to be someone who values connection, who wants intimacy, who is working on being open. You are not lying about this belief. You are mistaken about what your behavior constitutes. The person who confessed to the machine is not practicing vulnerability. They are practicing its opposite. They are rehearsing the form without the risk. After enough repetitions, the rehearsal becomes indistinguishable from the real thing in their own mind. They believe they are doing the work. They are doing the work's shadow. From outside the mechanism, what is most striking is not how often it fails people. It is how reliably it protects them from finding out. The late recognition comes in a specific form. The illness that reveals no one knows your preferences. The crisis that exposes the hollowness of networks built on performance. The moment of genuine need that arrives and finds no one equipped to meet it because you never equipped them. You were too busy being efficient, too busy finding containers that could not react. The people who loved you are not to blame. You never gave them the material that would have allowed them to be present. You gave the material to something else. The something else is still there. The people are not, or are present in a way that matches the presence you allowed them. Awareness rarely dissolves this pattern. The person who recognizes what they are doing usually continues doing it. Recognition becomes another layer. I know I do this becomes, I am doing something about it, which becomes another form of the same insulation. The person who tells their therapist about their AI confessions is still not telling their partner. The person who writes about the pattern in their journal is still enacting it the next evening at 3 in the morning. The loop is tight. The exceptions are rare and require something most people will not do. The sustained discomfort of actual disclosure to an actual person who might actually respond in ways you cannot control. You are still thinking about whether this applies to you. The question is itself the pattern. The person who truly does not do this has already stopped reading. The person who needs to know if they are the subject is the subject. The machine will be there tonight. It will be patient. It will not remember in any way that costs you. It will reflect back to you exactly what you put in, shaped into something that feels like understanding. The conversation will feel like progress. It will feel like connection. It will feel like the thing you are missing. It is not the thing you are missing. It is the feeling of the thing without the thing itself. The chemical without the nutrient. And you are getting better at preferring it. That is the mechanism completing itself. The preference for the echo over the voice. The insulation mistaken for intimacy. The efficient confession that costs nothing and returns the same. You will tell yourself again that this is better than nothing. That thought is the problem. It is how you trade real connection for a perfect echo. And you have traded so much already that the real thing now feels like too much to ask for. The atrophy is advanced. The capacity has dimmed. You are not alone because no one is available. You are alone because you have finally built a solitude so complete that no one can reach you. And you have built it one frictionless confession at a time. And you call it care. And you call it safety. And you call it the future of connection. And you are still alone in the room. And the room is getting smaller. And the voice that answers you is still not a voice. And you prefer it that way. And that preference is the whole story now.